In today's video, I'm going to create ocean mobs that will never be added to Minecraft. First up, I'm making a shark. I start with a basic cube and stretch it out to form the general body shape. Then, I add more cubes and extend them to give it that long, streamlined look. Now it's time to work on the head. I stretch a cube at the front of the body to make a big head. Next is the jaw. I add a small piece to make it look like the mouth is open. To give it a more dangerous look, I carefully place tiny cubes along the top and bottom of the jaw to represent sharp teeth. Now for the details. I make the tail big and give it a slight twist so it looks like a real shark tail. Then I move on to the lower fins. I stretch some cubes downward and place them symmetrically to keep it realistic. Once the model is done, I bring it into the game. And here's what the shark looks like in Minecraft. It looks awesome! The shape and details really capture the feel of a fierce ocean predator. Check out the animation. The swimming motion turned out smooth and realistic. Just like in real life, this shark moves quickly through the water. It can even spot the player from 20 blocks away. But defeating it won't be easy. It has fast regeneration, meaning it can heal itself during battle. This shark model turned out super cool. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Next up, I'm creating a sea serpent. To start, I took a basic cube and stretched it upward to form the neck and main body shape. Then, I added more cubes at different angles to give it that classic snake-like movement and curve. I made the head using a large cube, with an extended jaw to really make it stand out. I shaped the mouth and carefully placed small cubes to form sharp teeth. Then added 2 eyes to give it some life. To make it look even more intimidating, I added a few small spikes on top of its head. Next, I kept working on the twisting tail using the same technique, connecting cubes at angles. Along the back, I placed a row of small cubes down the spine to give it an extra terrifying look. Honestly, I think it turned out pretty good. In-game, the sea serpent looks massive. This is probably the most well-protected mob. You can't even punch it because of its tough scales. Plus, if a player gets too close, they get hit with blindness and poison. However, unlike the shark, this mob doesn't have fast regeneration. I'm giving this one a solid 7 out of 10. Now, it's time to create a whale. I started with a basic cube and stretched it out lengthwise. This would be the base for its massive body. Then, I moved on to the head. I used a larger cube, made it wider and slightly taller than the body to make it stand out visually. I paid special attention to the jaw. I pulled a block downward and forward to give the impression of a huge, open mouth. After finishing the head, I added the side fins. These were flat cubes, slightly tilted down and back to give a sense of motion. Now for the most important part, the tail. I created a cube, made it wider and longer, and then added the tail fin. I think it turned out pretty nice. In-game, the whale looks absolutely massive, especially when placed next to a player. Its black texture and white jaw stand out right away, and the smooth, streamlined shape really adds to its weight and presence. The whale isn't aggressive. It won't attack first, but if you hit it, it'll panic and try to strike back. I deliberately didn't give it high damage or any crazy abilities. It's meant to be more of an atmospheric mob. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 for pure cuteness. Next up, I'm creating an octopus. I started with the head, just a simple cube stretched slightly vertically to get that clean, recognizable octopus shape. Then I moved on to the most important part, the tentacles. I made 8 separate cubes, arranged them in a circle, and stretched each one out in different directions. I even bent and angled a few of them to make the model feel more alive and dynamic, like the octopus is gently drifting in the water or crawling slowly along the ocean floor. In-game, it looks awesome. The design is simple but expressive, which fits perfectly into Minecraft's underwater world. Unlike the whale I made earlier, this octopus is completely peaceful. Even if you hit it, it won't fight back. And if you do manage to defeat it, it drops a rare ink sac, a useful and thematic reward. For its simplicity, style, and friendly nature, I'm giving this one a solid 9 out of 10. Next up, I'm creating Gran Maja. I started by building the main shape, a long, stretched rectangular block. Layer by layer, I added more volume to make Gran Maja look thick and massive. I rounded out the edges to make the mouth feel more organic and alive, not just like a tunnel made of blocks. Then came the most important part, the mouth. I used white rectangular blocks for the upper and lower jaws, alternating sizes to make the teeth look uneven and threatening. I added bright red at the base of each tooth to give the impression of raw flesh and danger. That one detail made the model feel way more realistic and terrifying. Next, I added the eyes. 6 small white squares with black pupils, lined up right above the mouth. They look creepy, like the creature is staring at you even when it's not moving. The final model turned out great. Gran Maya is now in the game, and it's absolutely massive. It doesn't move on its own, but that's what makes it even scarier. Players don't expect danger from something that stands still. Get too close, and you'll be slowed down. Then it strikes. I'm giving this mob a 10 out of 10 for design, atmosphere, and the surprise factor. It's easily one of the most terrifying monsters I've ever made.